Welcome, one and all, to VO Journey Academy Live. My name is Anthony.
I'm Gabby.
And what are we, Gabby?
We're voice actors.
That's right.
We are.
We are voice actors. If you didn't know, that's what we are.
Indeed.
It is good to be here. It is Thursday.
Yeah, this
It
week
is
is
wild.
moving.
Thursday, the 7th of August. If you're new, of course, please hit that like and subscribe button if you so desire, and also hit that bell notification. Click on the all so that
Mm-hmm.
you just know when we're here. And as always, we have a really cool chat feature. So please feel free to comment, say hello, tell us where you're from, what you're doing, and any questions that you might have for us.
We
It
love the
would
questions.
be wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So, Gabby, how are
Mm,
you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm jazzed for a Thursday. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I got a lot on my plate today, and I'm being productive. It's good.
I know, I know.
Good.
There's
Good.
so much going on, and there's so much you can't talk about.
Ah,
But
soon, very soon.
soon, um, very soon. So, what are we talking about today?
We're gonna talk about DAWs. We
Ah,
get a lot of
yes,
questions about them all the time, and people want to know different things about DAWs, DAWs, whatever you want to call them. And
yes.
yeah, we
The
figured.
workhorses, the
Hmm.
workhorses of the industry. You know, it's funny. I always, when I first started, which many of us do, I would assume, we would get a DAW, and we, you know, don't quite know what else is out there.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
it's
mean?
true.
And I have found that whatever you start with, if you stay with it for a little bit, you end up. That's like the one you latch on to. I find. Um, do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
but then again, it could be that you just really enjoy it. Maybe that's not true. Maybe for me it was. I started with Adobe Audition
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
because I had when I was a teacher, I had Adobe,
mm.
the suite, right? Adobe Cloud, and it was, well, I don't think it was Adobe Cloud at that time yet, but it was Adobe. But anyways, the point is that I paid for it as a teacher, and I was like, oh, somebody said, well, if you have Adobe, you have Adobe Audition. I was like, what's this? Adobe Audition thing, right? And I'm like, I need
What is
something
this
to
thing you
record
speak
my.
of?
What do I record onto? Like,
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to save these files? So that's how I actually got. It was not like a blatant choice I made of, I studied the products. No
Huh?
way. It was the first thing that popped up that I had available to me.
You stepped in
And
a good one. I mean,
I,
you
so,
know.
so that's ended up how I started with Adobe Audition. How did you start? How did you get, like,
Oh,
what was your progression? Because
oh,
when you
oh,
started back when the dinosaurs were
I
roaming,
did.
right? You were chiseling your
Oh my
voiceover on
God.
a tablet, right? Like it
I
was.
started with tape and razor blade. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Two
Mm-mm-mm.
track, four track, tape and razor blade. Okay,
Wow.
so my
Mm.
progression went like this. From two track, I took this ungodly leap and moved to a production studio that at the time was like super cutting edge.
Mhm.
They were using Pro Tools, and it was Pro Tools 1. It was the first inception of Pro Tools, and it had a hardware component that made it extremely challenging. It was both hardware and software. And I remember my boss giving me the manual and like literally going, "Here, read this over the weekend." And I was, oh my God, beyond like it was such a learning curve.
Oh my god.
And then years later, in production at a radio station, they were using Cool Edit Pro.
Ooh,
And
cool edit
Cool Edit
pro.
Pro was the first version of Adobe Audition. Adobe
Mm-mm-mm.
bought Cool Edit and converted it into
Wow.
what we now know of. Yeah. So I have
You
seen,
really have been through it
yeah,
all.
I've been through it. I've been through it. And man, it's but over the years, I mean, we've seen so many other programs be created, so many other versions. My absolute favorite editor to this day is a defunct product that Adobe used to make. And they don't make it anymore. And it was shit, I think it was called SoundForge.
I
Um,
remember that. I
and
mean, I remember the
Sound
name
yeah,
Soundforge.
SoundForge, I loved it. I loved it to be it was a single track editor, and for the life of a voice actor, it was perfect. It was everything we needed. Unfortunately, they realized that it was a redundant product between Premiere and Audition, so they got rid of it. They don't make it.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
But anyway,
Oh no. Well,
so
thank you for sharing
yeah,
your journey with us and the
crazy, crazy, crazy.
B&W. So,
Now I feel old. Thanks.
so I suppose it just has popped in my head. DAW, right, stands for Digital Audio Workstation. All right, it's what we use, of course, to
Hmm.
record ourselves
Yep, yep.
onto. It's the software that records the voiceover.
Hmm.
And there are a variety of them. There are some that are free, and there's some that are paid.
Mhm,
And there's a variety of different payments, pay different types of pay for each one of them.
mhm,
I think some of the four, you could probably say there's like 4 or 5 main ones, or that at least we see in our
mhm.
home studios
Yeah.
that are used, right? The number one type of free one that a lot of people start with because it's there is a program called Audacity.
Mhm.
All right. And, Audacity's not a bad place to start.
No, it has its
But,
it
it's
has
open
its pros and
source.
cons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then, of course, what Gabby and I use is Adobe Audition. There's also Studio One.
Mhm.
And
Which is a proprietary product that's owned by Focusrite, I believe.
I think so,
Yeah,
because when you buy a Focusrite,
it comes with
you
Studio
comes
One.
with it. Yes.
Mhm.
And also the other one that people use, Reaper.
Mhm.
Reaper is another one. I always make the joke, Reaper, you can record your voiceover and also program it to debug your computer and make you coffee at the same time. Because
There's also Ableton.
there's
Ableton is
Ableton,
pretty
Pro
popular.
Tools.
Pro Tools, yep.
Um,
There's a variety.
there's a lot.
Sony
Yeah, I mean,
makes one.
people do use, GarageBand.
Mhm.
I mean, there are a variety.
Mhm.
There are a variety.
Yeah,
And
for
yeah,
Mac users, GarageBand is a built-in program.
right.
So a lot of people who are Mac-based start with GarageBand because it's
Hmm.
there, same as you with Adobe. It's just like, I have this
Exactly,
thing, I might as well
exactly.
use it.
And I will say that it is very true that you good thing bringing that up. I've learned whether being a Mac user, there are certain things that work very well. Like Adobe, I don't know if Adobe and Apple they just like each other, but they just work very well together. I'm
Mm,
not saying it doesn't work just as good on
mhm.
PC, and it does, but
Yeah.
you'll notice there are some even interfaces, and I'm not talking about
Mhm.
interfaces today. There's some interfaces that just work better with one operating system than another. Do you know
For
what I
sure.
mean? So, but yeah, so okay, so there's a variety of them, and they have pros and cons, not just from a pricing standpoint, but also usability. Now, one thing I will admit, and Gabby, you can tell me about this. No matter which one you choose, I have found personally, maybe as an engineer,
Mm,
that my process, my what we call in the industry mastering, which is a simple term for what you do, you be you,
mhm.
will stay the same no matter what system I go to. Meaning,
Mm,
I will, no matter what, because I try to teach myself a bunch of them. Being part of Bio Journey Academy and
sure.
doing things, I try to learn a bunch of different ones, just so I could at least be, intelligible and talking
Yeah.
about them. I bring my own process to them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I have a process and it works on and so the point of that is it works on any DAW that you have. Right? Would you agree with that?
I have long said they all do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They are if we want to make an analogy, right? They're all cars.
Mm.
They will get you from point A to point B. There may be some slight differences in the comfort of the ride and,
No, that's true. Oh, good
where the
analogy.
knobs and buttons are, like
Mm.
some have heated seats, some don't,
Oh,
it's
that's
that sort
funny.
of thing.
Yes.
But they all get you to the same place. I think what's critical is if you start to develop an understanding of how digital audio works in the big picture, then you realize that any of these programs can suit your needs because you just have to find the individual functionality you're looking for in that specific program. But they all have it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
No, very
Yeah.
well said.
Sometimes I jump on some of the other ones, kind of like you do. Sometimes it's to help a student, but like often I just get in there and I start editing, and people are like, "How are you doing that?" And I'm like,
Right,
"Because
right.
it's all the same thing."
Absolutely.
Yep.
And a lot of times the really the only differences will be just where you find a particular,
Yeah.
you know, part of the chain that you're
Mm,
trying to get to,
mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing. And it might be called a slightly different name a little bit.
Exactly.
But it's all, yeah, but I mean it's all the same once you get that processing down, which is an interesting thought now that we're talking about it. Learning your DAW and everything, but it's just as important, even more important, to learn the process that you use for editing, because like we said, it's
Mhm.
kind of the same across all of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about DAWs, as you just said, they all do the same thing. So, one thing I wanted to say that I wanted to debunk, although someone might come and say, "Oh, well, there was this one situation," but I would say that one thing I heard a couple times is sometimes people think their DAWs cause noises, cause
Mhm.
thing issues in their audio
Mhm.
from the start. Now,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong. In post,
Mhm.
when we're editing in things, then
Mhm.
yes, we can cause all kinds of
Mhm.
problems.
Mhm.
But I don't know, Gabby, I've never heard of, when you're recording to me, if like the DAW itself, the software, I mean, I, that doesn't mean software can't mess up, but it's usually not ever the raw recording, you know what I mean? The
Yeah.
DAW itself, do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Not no, not anymore. Back in the day, there were instances where there were certain settings or certain things that you had to go in and adjust, and if they weren't right,
Mm,
it was just the way the computer communicated with the software, that could happen. So one of the biggest things was it used to be that your computer came with an onboard sound card or sound functionality, and you had to turn that off before your DAW would function properly because the computer
mm.
was like, "Oh my god, where am I getting and receiving audio from? What is happening?"
Oh yeah.
And so that would sometimes cause noise in the chain, but that's long gone. That has not been a problem for a very long time. Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you are experiencing noise in your chain, just on a side note, and you can't figure, like, you're like, there's no I literally hear no sound, but it's in your you can see it
Mhm.
in your recording.
Mhm.
As we were kind of talking before, that could be your interface, it could be a
Yeah.
grounding issue,
Yeah.
could be some feedback within the in your system.
So many possibilities.
It's not going to be your DAW.
Nah.
Sarah had a question.
Mm.
Brought up some really good things. Not sure if you're looking for questions today. We're always looking for
Always.
questions.
Always.
But any resources that you could recommend to how to mix some music and sounds I need to learn for my Vojo project. Vojo, Gabby, what is Vojo?
Bojo is our sorority. It's our girls only, no boys allowed group.
You don't
And
say.
I'm very proud of it. It's really fun. It's a women's group within Avio's Journey, and we do special classes just for the ladies and guest speakers. And right now we're working on a fun little project that we're going to talk about in the future when it's ready.
I
It's in its
love
early
it.
stages right now.
Cool
Yeah.
deal. All right.
Mm.
So just of course you can go and join this wonderful thing by just going to
Mhm.
vojourney.com and join VO Journey
Yes.
Academy. So okay. So the question was is resources.
Yeah.
Uh, it's funny on a side as a teacher and being part of VO Journey Academy, I'm always first to say, well, it's me, of course, it's us,
Yeah.
right? So that is part of, we have a lot of resources within VO Journey. Gosh, Sarah, it's like we gotta pay
Yeah.
Sarah for all the wonderful marketing. But yes, we have a lot of resources within that. I
Mhm.
will say outside of being a part of whether it's VOJ or any other, group, I learned an off if you are a Adobe Audition person, I learned a lot early on from, and I don't know if he actually still makes videos,
Mm.
but they're out there. Gosh, I'm gonna remember. He's a British guy. Do you know who I'm talking about? And
Peter.
who?
Is his first name Peter?
I think so.
Yeah,
And
I know who you're talking about.
he did a pod. It was his podcasting
Mhm.
stuff,
Mhm.
but he would do all of these just day
Mhm.
after day tutorials on Adobe Audition,
Yeah.
adding music. I learned about pretty much all of my Adobe Audition, just how to use it from him. Watching his videos, I still believe they're up on YouTube, and it was good. It was great. I mean,
YouTube is
now he
glorious.
made a lot of them. It wasn't
Oh,
just
yeah.
always just about, but it involved music, it involved, adding music to voices, things like that, and it was great. The videos were high quality, so that you really can find a lot of that on YouTube. But of course, we have a lot of that in VOJ as well. And I've always think about it's so good these questions because then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna put that on the to-do list. We need to add
Mhm.
more. It was just there's
Mhm.
always more we can add.
Oh,
Now we
yeah.
do have a tech class, so we will be going over that in the tech class as well. I
There's
don't know before your Vojo project though, but
there's a ton that you can learn from YouTube tutorials. Even the software themselves, the manufacturers put
hmm
out plenty of tutorials and tons of content. There's user-based content. I mean, yes, you should be able to find very specific answers to things that way. And if you're stuck, I mean, here's the thing too, and this is one of the beautiful things about our community as a whole. Reach out to other voice actors and talk to them and see what resources they use and kind of,
that's
yeah.
sorry. It was Mike Russell.
Oh, okay, I know who that is. Yep.
Mike Russell. That's
Mhm.
that's who I used. And you could have someone. Maybe it's a different person that you were thinking of, but I was thinking of
Mm.
Mike Russell. And he's music radio creative,
Mhm.
and he just did like that's where I learned early on years. So this was back in like 2007, like when I started, 8 years ago. So it's a what but they're still up there. I was just on YouTube, so that
Yeah,
was a great way. But yes, Gabby's right. You actually, the tutorials made by Adobe Audition or the other ones are very good as
they're
well.
lovely.
Um, so okay, so Vanessa says, "Hi, I'm using Audacity and would like to use another DAW that is much more punch and roll friendly, preferably a one-time payment. Any advice?" Oh, Vanessa, I love it. You stuck
So
that in there on the one-time payment one, right?
there's
So why would you say that? So one of the Gabby is, it's funny because I totally understand. So I understand
Mhm.
a lot of people, but that's one thing about Adobe Audition that some people shy away from it. I say sadly because even the people who use Studio One, so if you want a one-time payment, it's probably better for Reaper. Studio One is, but it's a hefty actually one-time payment if you do it right, and then
Mhm.
you will have to upgrade,
Yeah.
but as time goes on. But the people have you with Adobe Audition, you pay a monthly fee
Mhm.
for it. Now you always get the updated version every year it comes out. It's a part of it, but people do, and I totally understand, right? People do have, adding another. We have so many right subscription things.
Sometimes you can still find older software that people are reselling online that,
Because Adobe Audition used to be a one-time purchase.
yes, it used to be a disc. And I mean, I still have my old discs
Do
because
you really?
they're
But do they
useful.
work?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. All you have to do is check on the compatibility of the software and the system you're running, but many of them
Mm,
still operate. But yeah, sometimes
mm,
you can buy an older piece of software online and do it that way. You're not going to have all the modern bells and whistles,
mm.
but it's certainly a great learning platform.
So I would say so for Vanessa, actually, I would say again because I've used Adobe Audition and it's what I teach in my sleep. I think the punch and roll in Adobe Audition is very easy. However, it is actually very good on Studio One, because Studio One, the track part. Now, a lot of times, depending on how you learn on Adobe Audition, see, Adobe Audition defaults, or you can use a mono track. You can just record a mono track, which
Hmm.
is what we should as voice actors do. But you can also set up. You can go to a multi-track setup, and you can record right in the multi-track as well. It can be non-destructive. A lot of people don't realize that starting off because they saw someone just in a mono track, right? But anyways, point is that any of the DAWs that I mean, at least those three main ones: Adobe Audition, Studio One, and Reaper, and then I know that one's Pro. I mean, you can. It's all. They all do punch and roll pretty good, I
Yeah.
think. And now
Yeah.
Audacity, I don't know
No.
about Audacity.
Mm.
I've actually done try to do
There might
punch
be a
and roll on that.
plugin. There might be a
That's
plugin
true.
for Audacity that
That's
helps
true.
it better.
That's true.
Yeah, better function much better.
So someone had mentioned, or someone had said, what was the monthly expense on so if you just do at least Adobe Audition, I think it's like $21 a month. Is it?
It's a little higher now. It depends on
It
what
was
you're
higher.
getting. It depends on if you're doing a package or just the single
That's
software. I
true.
mean,
That's true. That's
it's
I do the suite.
between,
I do the whole
yeah,
suite
same. It's
almost.
between
So
20 and 40, I think.
okay, okay. So yes. I mean, if you think about it over a year, right? I mean, I guess if you look at that, that's pricey. I will say, when I was first starting, I had it already, so it
Mhm.
wasn't something like I was already paying for it as a teacher because I was using it. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like I was adding an expense. Do you know what I mean? But like if you go to, I think, Studio One, there's a free, you get like a free template to start, or not a free template, but a free start, and then I want to say it is a couple $100 to
Mhm.
purchase it. Reaper, what happens with Reaper is a lot of people just keep renewing the free version,
Mm,
even though they're not. Even Reaper asks you not to, but Reaper doesn't crack down on it.
yeah.
So so a lot of
Yet.
people will keep renewing the free version. So essentially, they get it for free. But Reaper is one of those programs, in my humble opinion, where you got to be a person who loves to program, who loves to just. You're like, this file leads to this file leads to that file leads to this file leads to. I mean, some
y-
people love it, and that's fine too. You know what I mean? But yeah. But I would say that all those we talked about do a pretty good job with punch and roll. Okay, so let's see. Oh, good. I love it. People okay. So, is there a class in the archives that covers this? I hadn't seen it, but there's a ton to look through in the academy. We were actually talking about that before. Yes, so we have a big years and years of content, and absolutely there is. So I
Mhm.
had done, so not just me, but we had Don Barnes for a period of time who did
Mhm.
a lot of work with us. So we have a lot of that content, also content I have. So yes, answer yes, Sarah. There is a bunch in there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Expensive period. Oh, expense it period. Yes. Oh, that's you, Gabby. I meant to use it as an expense for your taxes, like mentioned last week too.
Mhm. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, all of that is a business expense,
Yep.
hands down.
Yeah, whether it's a one-time purchase or a monthly purchase doesn't matter.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, 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 yes. Absolutely.
Um, so
Yeah.
tomorrow, I think we could
Oh
continue
gosh,
the
we're already
conversation.
23.
I
Right.
know. We could pick up the
Jeez.
conversation again tomorrow, talk a little bit
Hmm.
about DAWs, but remember it's also open forum Friday, so bring your
It is
questions.
open
Yeah.
Forum Friday.
Yep, yep. Bring your
So
questions.
yes, please come with lots of questions.
Mhm.
We have it. Well, thank you guys so much. This is wonderful seeing you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. See you tomorrow. Bye
Bye,
bye.
guys.
Bye bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.